Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Siska Dujayanti from Student Informatics and Technology, Faculty University of Informatics and Business Indonesia. I like to take this opportunity to talk about comparison analysis of the SAW method and TOPSIS method in the decision support system or determining permanent teacher in vocational high school Pasundan to Banjaran. Let's start with abstract decision-making process by using SAW method and TOPSIS method by comparing with the aim of obtaining the right result who can be submitted as a permanent teacher vocational high school Pasundan to Banjaran. The result of comparison of SAW method and TOPSIS method, which then conducted sensitivity tests, resulted in a method that is similar to this case study. Moving on the next point, I like to explain about the background of the problem. Not all teachers of vocational high school Pasundan to Banjaran have been appointed as civil servant and permanent teacher position, but there are still teachers who are permanent teacher or honorary teacher. Vocational high school Pasundan to Banjaran, in the appointment of the permanent teacher, foundation still has constraints that are done manual and the appointment must be in accordance with the approval of the principal. To facilitate the appointment of permanent teacher, a system known as the Decision Support System is needed, DSS. The use of decision support system has many methods that can be used. For the appointment of permanent teacher foundation at vocational high school Pasundan to Banjaran will use simple additive weighting SAW method, which will be compensated with technique for other preference by similarity to ideal solution TOPSIS method in the hope that it will be presented which method is appropriate in decision making. Moving on the next point, I like to explain literature review about SAW method and TOPSIS method. SAW method. According to Kusuma Dewi, in Oktaputra 2014, the SAW method is the simplest and most widely used MADM method. This method is also the easiest method to apply because it has an algorithm that is not very complicated. SAW method are often also known as weighted summation method. The basic concept of the SAW method is to look for weighted summation for performance rating on each alternate or all attribute. The SAW method requires the process of normalizing the decision matrix X to a scale that can be compared to all existing alternative rating. TOPSIS method. The TOPSIS completion method is based on a concept in which the best selected alternative not only has the shortest distance from the positive ideal solution, but also has the longest distance from the negative ideal solution. Wang 1981, Zeleny 1982, in the book Sri Kusuma Dewi 2006, 87. As you may remember, I share methodology used in this study. Research methods are a way used by researchers in collecting their research data. In the preparation of this research will go through several stages that form a systematic process. As I mentioned earlier, stages. First, start. Next, Detail a segment in accordance with the problem best. Next, formulation of the problem, comparing SAW method and TOPSIS method. Next, result purpose, analyze the decision-making in assigning permanent teacher by comparing SAW method and TOPSIS method in establishing permanent teacher at Vocational High School Pasundan Tubanjaran. Next, data collection. First, literature review. Obtain reference source from journal, book, or other written source. Next, interview, Q&A to the school. Last, observation, implementation of decision solution to get the best alternative decision. Next, result and discussion, data processing, data assumption, model validation, and verification test the proposed solution. SAW method calculation process stages, metric normalization, preference value for each alternative, TOPSIS method calculation process stages, matrix normalization, weighted normalized matrix, matrix of positive and negative ideal solution, the distance between the weighted value of each alternative, plus preference value for each alternative. Next, comparison of the SAW method and TOPSIS method. Two recommendations for the appointment of permanent teacher. Next, sensitivity test to find out which method is more appropriate in this research. Next, conclusion and recommendation. Decision from the result of data processing and discussion obtained from the result of the result. Last end. As you can see here, after the process of matrix normalization and preference value for each alternative, the math table SAW method working. Based on process of SAW method, it can be concluded that the largest value is alternative code A7 and A10 with a value of 0.96583, namely Dewi Kartika SPD and Nordin SPD is appointed as the alternative chosen honorary teacher who will be appointed as a permanent teacher in Vocational High School Pasundan Tubanjaran. As you can see here, after the process of matrix normalization, weighted normalized matrix, distance between weighted value of each alternative, positive and negative ideal solution, preference value of each alternative, then math table TOPSIS method working. Based on the process of TOPSIS method, it can be concluded that the largest value is the alternative code A7 with a value of 0.9375. Namely, Dewi Kartika SPD is designated as an alternative chosen honorary teacher who will be appointed as a permanent teacher in Vocational High School Pasundan Tubanjaran. Result and discussion. This graph illustrates, based on the SAW method and TOPSIS method, the result of the comparison of the two methods are obtained as below table. The result of the comparison of SAW method and TOPSIS method obtained that the name Dewi Kartika SPD emerged as a more chosen alternative as an honorary teacher who will be appointed as a permanent teacher in Vocational High School Pasundan Tubanjaran. To quickly recap, my key points are, in the process of SAW method, it can be concluded that has the largest value. There are two alternative codes A7 and A10 with a value of 0.96583 on behalf of Dewi Kartika SPD and Nordin SPD. Based on the result of comparison of SAW method and TOPSIS method, named Dewi Kartika SPD, and whereas a more chosen alternative as honorary teacher to be appointed as a permanent teacher in Vocational High School Pasundan to Banyahan. After further comparison, sensitivity test was conducted, which resulted in that SAW method is the most appropriate method in the determination of permanent teacher in Vocational High School Pasundan Tubanjaran because it has the highest percentage of change score. This is seen in the SAW method sensitivity test result value with a change value of 10.0316%, while in the TOPSIS method, the percentage value changed by 0.6529%. Reference I use in my research. And that brings us to the end. I like to thank for your attention. Sorry if there is a word that is not pleasing.